Neha was just a designer, professional designer, NIFT graduate.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but along with that, she was explorer. She was doing advertising. She was into media house, at times doing freelancing modeling. Then she was keen on writing. And good dancer,
Mm-hmm.
living life. But there was this one incident which was a major breakthrough and which gifted this Naisha into her life. So NLP, I'll simplify, it's neuro linguistic programming.
Welcome to one more awesome episode of the Achievers Club podcast show. And today we had Naysha Neha in the form of guest on our podcast show. And she's NLP trainer for corporates. She's also an EFT tapping coach, law of attraction practitioner, and she's also an author. And in this particular podcast, we have dived deep into her own journey about why she started NLP, how someone can actually practice NLP in order to enhance their life, and not just that, we have also taken all these concepts right from the basics, that what is NLP, what are the different practices, and many more things. And before end of this particular podcast, we have also discussed about what are the different things which every single parent has to keep in their mind before having kids. And not just that, but in this particular podcast, we also had some fun conversation, and we also dive deep into her own journey as well. So make sure you watch this particular podcast till the end, and make sure you take full notes, and let's begin. Hey Naisha, thank you so much for joining in on our podcast show. How are you doing nowadays?
Hi, Sahil. Very, very good. I'm absolutely very excited about this podcast because I've known about you. You're such an energetic person doing so much at this young age. So when you're doing such kind of podcast, it really lifts you up. So I'm looking forward to this because we are going to be promoting, we are going to be sharing a lot of things that we are doing and inspiring lot many people.
Yes,
So
that's great. And for the absolute new audience, who is Naisha Neha? Like, can you just introduce yourself so that people can understand what's the overall value which they're gonna get through this podcast?
okay, so let me break this because my document name is Neha, and Neha was just a designer, professional designer, NIFT graduate.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but along with that, she was explorer. She was doing advertising. She was into media house, at times doing freelancing modeling. Then she was keen on writing. And good dancer,
Mm-hmm.
living life. But there was this one incident which was a major breakthrough and which gifted this Naisha into her life. So
Mm-hmm.
Naisha means life. And
Okay.
my Limitless with Naisha is also being limitless with life. So the
Mm-hmm.
word Naisha has a beautiful meaning to it. So Naisha Neha today is a corporate trainer. I'm also a mindset coach. I'm also a healer. So I have this any fear, any phobia, any person that is carrying since decades or maybe more than that, I can crash that within 5 minutes. So I really love NLP because it's super 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 powerful, and I get surprised when I use it, and when your clients are so happy and satisfied with this art.
Yes, absolutely. So as you mentioned about your overall journey from being into like the, you can consider, I can't call it as like the basic life, but the life of explorer which you mentioned in past. Then after breakthrough, you are into this particular thing. You are into corporate training, and you are more into mindset stuff and all. So can you just describe about all the things which you are currently doing? Because as you mentioned about your past journey, and right now you focused more on NLP and corporate training. So can you just describe about what is NLP all about and why you chose corporate training itself?
Thank you so much. Beautiful question. So NLP, I'll simplify. It's neuro linguistic programming. So a brain, we have neurons. So imagine this is neuron. So we have
Hmm.
left and we have right
Right.
neuron. And when they combine, that is when you form new habits and new patterns, which unknowingly a lot of people are not knowing that there are so many habits and patterns which we have adapted in our lives, but these can be broken and we can form new habits and new patterns which can lead us towards success. Because very easily we have seen people saying that, oh, I'm like this is not going to happen, I've always stayed like this. These are just excuses, these are
Hmm.
barriers to your success. So NLP is mind blowing because I can talk on and on because it
Yeah,
is like
definitely
a
go for
magical
it.
tool. It is like scientifically proven it's a magical tool, and this is study of all the successful people. They have studied, they have done this research on all the successful people, their brains, how their neurons have actually build it up, and how they are able to fast pace that success which for a normal people might have taken 10 years or 10 years. So anything with NLP, you can fastly, like you can speed fast your process and you can achieve it very easily.
And what are those practices which anybody can follow rather than just going like in the sense, like as you mentioned about neurons and all, rather than studying about brain and all those things, what are the practices which anybody can follow in order to rewire their beliefs and their thought processes in order to achieve like positive outcome, and most importantly like a abundant life, an abundant life?
Okay, so I will only introduce few one which are
Yeah,
going to be
definitely.
easy,
Mm-hmm.
because NLP is something where you need to practice, you need to understand the science. These are
Mm-hmm.
all science, and we have to be very careful because we are going to take care of neurons, and it is very important for us to understand what thoughts, what feelings, actions, and how we are acting. These all together are actually building a personality, a behavior. So
Mm-hmm.
these are little things that we can. So let me give you one example. Any statement like we have seen people saying, like, imagine that there is in this meeting and the boss is all screwed up and the
Mm-hmm.
team members are all very sad, and the boss is like, every time you deliver us and there is no outcome, you guys don't do any conversion, how are we going to run this business? But if you have to see, if you are using NLP, you can generalize, you can use where this message has been distorted. So there are these technical things, and like, if a person has to pick, he can really get disheartened.
Yes.
Normal people,
Yes.
yes, and he will be fearing about his job. But someone who can understand NLP will filter out all the negative thoughts, all the negative emotion. He will only think that, okay, fine, what is something from here that I really need to take out and I need to put it into something productive. We all are doing NLP unknowingly, but when you master, you understand the science and you can speak fast again.
Okay, that's cool.
For this person, when he is
Mm-hmm.
like, example, there are two person, one
Mm-hmm.
person, he will be underestimated, self-esteem will be low, but someone who understand, he will read that what other things still, despite it was all negative conversation,
Mm-hmm.
what other things that he really need to, like, he will think, okay, fine, this thing did not work, let us come again, form a team and challenge what are the things that did not work. Where of someone who is disheartened, he will only keep on cribbing, he will say bad things about the boss, the team member, he will not utilize that time, that productive, and with that, he will just be draining his own energy. So these
Mm-hmm.
ways, because see, your whole emotion, your thoughts, and your action, your personality is all together being driven with such statement. But
Yes.
when you can condition yourself to not think that way, this is all mind conditioning. There are so many people who will be frustrated, who will be, carrying something or the other story along with it at work, but
Yes.
you can't carry them. So you have to delete such things which are not there for your own higher self. So this is one of the most simple technique that we use as in NLP, that we
Okay.
delete what's not required, we filter out, we generalize. Like, there are people who say that you are doing always like that. You have to question them. Is it like 100% true? Like,
Mm-hmm.
always be 100%, like 10 out of 10? The person will
Mm-hmm.
start thinking, oh, okay, might be few
Yes.
times. But then you
Absolutely.
ask them again. Like, if I have to ask you, out of 10, how many times? The person will again think. So these are NLP. We say things just for the sake of saying, but our brain actually captures them. And we start believing unknowingly and we start acting.
That's true. So one thing which I'm able to observe right now, so far the conversation which we had is, if we want to manifest, like I'll call it as manifestation itself. If we want to be in a positive zone, if we want to manifest positive things on into our life, even though the situation is negative, even though the blames which we are getting those are negative, we need to be aware, like this is negative thing, but with that thing itself, what are the things which are actually positive? It could be like overall teamwork was good, as you mentioned about the team and the boss as well. Maybe the teamwork was also good, the presentation was also good, but at certain point of time there could be certain things which went wrong, because of which there were no conversions, as you mentioned about those terms as well. So we have to be aware about all the positive things, so that even I've heard about this concept about neuroplasticity, which is like rewiring our brains and creating the new ones, right? Because of our thoughts, as you mentioned about the continuity of those thoughts, which help us in order to attract the positive or the negative outcome, right? So is that true? Like the first one is awareness.
Yes, that's true. Because if you're just carrying though, even in thoughts, you're carrying a pattern. If a person is low,
Mm-hmm.
his whole life, if he's not doing that effort to raise his positivity, raise his energy, he will not be energetic to even pick up any work and put that energy into any kind of work. Because that
Mm-hmm.
has become his body language. And that is why people keep on sinking into depression. Because for
Yes.
them, if you have to see a depressed person, his body language is very different. The kind of words that he uses is very different. And think about the way he's feeling. So now, if you have to compare these two personalities, so there are certain thought, feelings, behavior, and his action which is leading him to stay in that zone. If you will ask that person to come and dance, his
He or
body
she will not
language
done.
and his
Yeah.
whole thoughts are going to change.
Yes. So that's true. And can you dive deep more into what is NLP all about? Like even in more simplified manner, because we have time for that as well.
Okay, so going back, as said, NLP, it has a research done on successful people, how
Mm-hmm.
they were able to achieve success. So these are neurons, how your neurons build up and form new patterns. So there are tried and tested techniques for these, which you
Mm-hmm.
can implement. You have to practice because you are also building up your mindset. So I will also include that there are two kind of mindset. One is fixed, one is growth. So for
Yep.
NLP, when you start working, you are building your growth mindset, which is absolutely required because that is how you're fast pacing your success. So for anything to achieve, you need to again work on your neurons, your habits, your patterns. So here you're building new patterns in a very fun, creative way. So NLP is all about having fun along with learning, trying
Mm-hmm.
and testing on yourself. So there are many techniques, but just because you need to understand the science, so I will not be able to do
No, you
that.
can just name those techniques. Maybe like what are the techniques which you teach to your you teach to your students and all. Maybe you can just name them.
Okay, so when you are having conversation, there is this metaphors that you can use. Through metaphors, you can make any kind of conversation very interesting. Even conversation hypnosis, there is a
Mm-hmm.
specific way when it comes to pre-framing, how you will pre-frame your question before asking someone so that even that person who's not interested will be interested in. So these are something which I'm giving example just on communication.
Mm-hmm. But we
Any,
need to use that in a positive way, as you mentioned
yes,
about. I think like hypnosis and all those things we can use in another way as well. But in order to get the maximum benefit, we should use it in the positive way.
of course, we are using it in a positive way because if you're going to use it in a negative way during conversation, you're going to get the other side effect of getting being slapped.
Definitely, definitely.
So I think that's very risky for anyone else too. So then you can you have this liberty to, if you like, sorry, if you dislike something through
Mm-hmm.
NLP, within few minutes you can like anything. Say you have this craving for pizza and you are not able to control that through
Mm-hmm.
NLP, that you will be able to control within 5 minutes, within 10 minutes max. So it's that powerful. It's that powerful. So
Mm-hmm.
because see, you love pizza so much, you'll go to doctor, you ask people, you keep on thinking, and the more you think, you will keep on craving for more pizza. So you will
Yes.
end up going to one of the for one of the treats. But in NLP, the moment you say that you want this to be controlled, the whole process is such that you will start hating pizza. If I will ask you to imagine, you will start hating pizza. It is that powerful.
I mean, I think this is one of the one of the most mind-blowing concept which I'm able to go through so far. And I've heard about this concept that is Ho'oponopono as well. I think that is also one of the part of NLP itself. Is that
No,
so?
that's not part of
I think that is in the in terms of healing.
yes, it's
So
healing.
is that a kind of practice which we follow in NLP as well?
You can do, but NLP is specifically based on neurons, study of
Mm-hmm.
science, and this is actually a Hawaiian prayer.
Yes.
So Dr. Hewlin, so he
Mm-hmm.
started this because he was sitting in his asylum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I know the story about it. Even I know
Perfect.
how to implement that. But I just thought like, is there any connection between like how we can implement Ho'oponopono prayer in terms of NLP so that we can heal other people, we can heal ourselves as well. So NLP is
Absolutely, this
something
can be
like which
done.
is completely like a different subject itself. That's
It
true.
is different. Yeah, it is
Mm-hmm.
different, but this can be incorporated because these are different modalities. So
Mm-hmm.
you can definitely mix it up. So say if someone is having fear, you can definitely mix hope no, and then you can start your NLP technique. Because when
Okay.
you do hope no, it releases all these negative
Negativity.
energies.
Yeah.
So any kind of fear, anything that this person is holding, that will get clear, and your NLP technique will work amazingly.
So like if the situation is negative, we can apply Ho'oponopono there in terms of healing, whether it is for the front person or for ourselves, and then we can use NLP for making it even more efficient and to get faster results. That's cool. And is there any kind of myths which you have been through, maybe through your own students, maybe through your own environment? Like maybe those are some of the most common myths, or about NLP. So can you just describe? Because even the audience who is watching this, maybe they can also have some of the myths about NLP.
So, firstly, people think that NLP is magic. Even the word manifestation, people think it's magic.
Mm-hmm.
People don't believe in the work that one needs to put. So the major thing that people these days are missing, and which NLP is also having. I get a lot of question that and will this make me become a billionaire, or make
Mm-hmm.
will I get my boyfriend, all of that, will I get married? But people don't understand this is a lifestyle that you need to adopt. These are healthy habits. This is about adopting a lifestyle which is going to gift you that beautiful life that you're envisioning about.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just that you will just sit, visualize, think, something like that. No, even when it comes to visualization, you need to put that work. So NLP is science. You have to practice, you have to implement, you have to understand much thoroughly before you put that. And of course, it's a beautiful science. So the more you understand these technicalities of implementing, it becomes a lifestyle, and things become much more easier for you and also the other person that you are dealing with. So it's a science. So that's one of the myth. Then lot of people question that how is it that NLP is super fast. So
Mm-hmm.
people think even the studies also, it takes also very less time. So nothing like that. Of course, these are fun, but you to learn something, and it also depends on you. It is not about just the NLP word. You have to invest your time, your money, your
Your
energy.
energy. Hmm.
Yeah, but these days I don't know why people are just looking for simple hacks. They're not looking for that work that one has to transform in this whole journey.
Hmm.
Because everything leads for you to grow. And when you grow, the way you beautifully will apply NLP in your life, you will understand how you can apply to others because it's fun, it's creative. You can implement a lot of modalities as even you have introduced Hope No. So I will be doing that also more. I'll see. I
Hmm.
do at times, but I've not done much. Uh,
Hmm.
I use more of visualization and such kind of thing, which people really enjoy. So,
Hmm.
uh, so yeah, this is something. So it's a beautiful journey, but if you don't enjoy the concept of NLP, I will say don't land up just because people are doing it, people are good at it. No, anything that you do, you have to put your foot, you have to be there, you have to understand, be passionate about this thing and grow. Even if you're picking any of the modalities, even Hope No or NLP, anything,
Hmm.
understand how it is, understand why, how did it shape you, All of these questions should come to you. What, in what all areas can this help you benefit to become your higher version? These kind of question people are not thinking. They're just looking an escape from whatever it's
Life
the
they are living
problems
right
that
now.
they're having. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Okay,
maybe
so
the question
hmm
people have really transformed. For them, it is like they think of something that they really want to become. Achieving is a byproduct, like having car, having luxury, these things are byproduct. When you become it, everything starts coming to you.
Even this is the same conversation, the same pointer which we had in last podcast as well. Like a lot of people focus on doing things so that we can have the outcome, but very few people focus on being that kind of person, doing that work, and then having that result. So even this is one of the points which you mentioned once again, like becoming that kind of person. And one point which you mentioned, like we can apply NLP for somebody else as well, because even while reading a book yesterday that was based on completely manifestation and all. During that, like while reading that particular book, that was clearly mentioned, like universe is like a genie, and that will only work for yourself, not for somebody else, because that genie is not aware about who is your friend, who is your family member, whether they are your parents, whether they are your kids, or your or whomever, for whomever you want to manifest anything. So the best thing which you can do is do it for yourself, inspire others, and then let them do the same thing. But you mentioned about NLP that we can do for somebody else as well. So what is the differentiation? Like what are the practices which we can follow for somebody else as well?
Again, implementing same techniques. So there are certain techniques which we learn in this whole process. We understand, like say, if you panic seeing you have this stage fear, I
Mm-hmm.
can anchor you on your fingertips, and if you will touch that fingertip there on the stage, your stage fear will vanish. NLP is that powerful.
Okay.
So I can even do it on myself. I can do this on you. So whatever you are saying, I'm not sure about which book you're addressing to. So I
Mm-hmm.
will not be able to speak much because I'm sure they must be empowering on inner self more. The
Yeah.
primary is to empower yourself and then to spread the news to the world. But here for NLP, for us, it's like use these modalities for yourself and even for others, so that
Mm-hmm.
people should not be stuck there. We all deserve to have this beautiful life, to experience this beautiful life. There are so many techniques. Just implement, use, help others so we all can grow together.
So NLP is like some of the scientific techniques as well. It could be like with the help of mindset, or it could be with the help of some physical activities as well, as you mentioned about tapping the fingers and all, so that we can have positivity and we can get out of that fear zone. So I think like the book which I read yesterday, it was like from one of my friend, Devina Rao. Even this is the new book which she has launched, and the book name is Emotion Alchemy. And in that, she has completely mentioned about manifestation and all, and she has not yet mentioned about any of the physical practices which we can follow. But she has also mentioned about this thing like when we are trying to manifest all the things into our life, it's not any. Even she mentioned about everybody's using manifestation, as you mentioned about NLP. She also mentioned like everybody is using manifestation in every possible way, whether they are aware of it or not. So even she made us realize that yes, we are using manifestation in every way, whether it is like attracting the positivity or the negativity. So how do we channel that for positive things? That's what she has mentioned about that. And that is why I mentioned, and that's the only book which I'm reading right now. Although currently I'm reading 6 books, and as I mentioned about the books itself, can you suggest us some of the books based on NLP? Maybe like as you mentioned about your book as well, can you just describe more about it? Like what are the things which people are actually going to learn from your book, and maybe some another suggestions as well based on like around NLP itself.
Okay, so I will start from where you started. You were talking about manifestation and NLP.
Mm-hmm.
So coming back to this, NLP is one of the ways that how you can speed fast. Manifestation is an art
Yes.
that you have to become something to achieve that. There are few certain laws, the way that you can achieve your goals. So manifestation is just a word for which normal people thinks that this is very fancy. It means magic, but
Mm-hmm.
there is a work. NLP is just one of those parts how you can implement to become something. So it's about your best version. And in a way, when you see manifestation, there are many techniques like visualization, doing
Yes.
369, a lot of other ways, scripting. So even these things are leading you to become your best version. But NLP holds such a strong, like as talking about fear and phobias, which definitely in scripting or any of these things will definitely take some time, few years for you maybe, even
Mm-hmm.
when you go for counseling. But NLP, this can be done right on just one call. So NLP is used for such things like today only I was on call, and this friend of mine, he was having a bad backache, and he was not able to move. So I just called him and I said, okay, fine, bear with me, I'm going to do something which you've known me for the new side of me as Naisha
Mm-hmm.
Neha, so let me implement that because I love implementing NLP. And that person could not believe, in few minutes it just vanished, and he was able to walk. He was bedridden in the morning, he was not able to go to work, he was not able to make his breakfast. But he was very surprised and he was very happy that there are such powerful technique and people are not even known with such magical things, because he was planning to go to hospital, take medicine, all of that, which is of course a tedious job. And
Yes.
here within 5 minutes that was being taken care. So I will say NLP I definitely promote to use in such area. Definitely you can implement in your daily life. I also do a lot of times because it makes your work very easy. In fact, when I look my growth, what I was, it has only been 2 years, and I've massively grown just becoming a corporate trainer, a mindset coach, and now a healer also, along with an author. I've
Wow.
done such work in just very quick time. In fact, I remember that the way I got my handwriting analyst certificate also was very surprising because I implemented NLP techniques into it. So
Mm-hmm.
one handwriting analysis takes some 4 to 5 hours because you have to write, then you have to deliver it to person, you have to tell about those areas like their relationship, how they are doing in their career, what are the things that they need to take care of. So it takes time. Even when you deliver, it takes like on an average 2 hours because you're talking about their entire life. So for me, there was this challenging time because in my family, there was someone who was dealing with dengue that time. And I was a little emotionally unstable that time. It was my
Mm-hmm.
brother only,
Yeah.
and only 2 3 days were left. So I was like, either I drop this or either I will not be. And my focus was I want the best. So I asked my mentor, what is the best star that you get? So she told me 4.5 out of 5. And I was like, okay, that's the thing that I really want because I have to achieve that. And just having 2 3 days in my hand, I was not sure. But then I made up my mind. I was like, let's do this because a part of me also loves challenges. So now my family members also, when they talk to me, they're like, give us a challenge. That is when she will do it. So
That's
I
good.
was like, yeah, let's take this. And surprisingly, I was able to submit. I was able to submit 10 samples in just 3 days. I don't know how I did that, but NLP has really helped me speed fast again that. And when I was looking in my group, there were so many people getting 4 being the average,
Mm-hmm.
and only few 2 3 people got 4.5 when I was active on the group. And when it got delivered, it was actually 4.5 out of 5. I was in tears, I screamed because it's the journey that we carry. And this was only and only possible because of NLP, because I was able to take care of my emotion, thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
feelings, and action, as said. So I am already implementing. If I would have been the prior version of me, Neha, just
Mm-hmm.
I would have been just sitting and just nagging about the situation, giving myself that excuse. But this Naisha understood the whole scenario, utilized it for her benefit, and was also present at the hospital, even at my brother's place when he needed me.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's true.
So that is how NLP is a lifestyle. That is why I talk.
And getting back to the point, the books and the podcast. Yeah. And
Okay.
your journey is actually very inspiring, honestly speaking. We can dive into it as much as we can, but getting back to the point, because we have to cover a lot of points. So like, you can mention about your book, what is the overall context all about, what people can learn, and any other books based on NLP, or even based on other factors which are around NLP?
So I'm supposing our viewers are going to be youngsters majorly.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually ask them to read just specific books and then go as per your need. I don't recommend much book because I don't know what are you looking for. So very specific books are The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. I keep on rereading
Mm-hmm.
because every time you repeat some book, it has some new learning. So
Yes.
pick very few books, be clear with the specific areas which can help you shape up if you build trying to enhance your skills. Then comes psychology of money. A lot of people don't understand that money you have to respect. There is a vision that you should be seeing money as. There are a lot of myths around which we are our society and the culture that we are brought up, and because of which we don't dream big.
Yeah.
A normal people will fear, and that is why this book is very powerful. So
So
I definitely.
psychology of money and the power of your subconscious mind. And
And
about your book?
okay, so one more book which is very good. It's Talk Like TED. It's on communications. So
Mm-hmm.
how you can utilize communication, what are the signs, how you can have that conversation. Very interestingly. So these are from all the speakers at TED Talk, their
Mm-hmm.
conversation and what has been their journey so far, which has made those 15-minute speech at TED Talk massive, leaving us with massive impression. So, and okay, so finally, here's the book, Suffering to Celebration.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a discovery of Naisha journey. So, a lot of things that I talk about and which I'm trying to even portray here on this podcast, it's majorly that normal people, they hold their setbacks, their
Yes.
negativity.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody has ever given us those skills that we need, because any positive impact that we have in our life, we celebrate all the victories,
Yes.
right? That's very common, and we hate whenever we fail.
Absolutely true.
So
Even
this
I
book.
faced the same 2 years back.
Yeah, even I was there. But during that pandemic journey that I have come through, so that has really taught me that you have to actually celebrate and love your negativity, your negative emotions, your negative situations, because those are the one, these are your stairs towards success, which will lead you. And if you're not embracing your negative side, how can you even think and imagine of reaching and enjoying your positive side?
That's true. Yes,
So
that's true.
we hate these negative side and we love these positive side. So there is this bridge that we need to catch up. And so this book talks about all the negative emotion, how you can be friends with it. It's a very light read. It's mostly for youngsters just to understand what are the wrongs that they are doing and what are the new habits that they can adopt, and they can start loving and living a real life where you accept the negative aspects of your life.
That's true. And as you mentioned about the second book, which was like psychology of money, and as I'm into money part, so what is the definition of money according to you? As an NLP coach, also you can consider, but as a person, what is the definition of money according to you? This is like a general question which I do ask to all the guests on our podcast.
Okay. So a lot of people see money as a respect because it gives them luxuries.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, money is a blessing because when I see around, I'm like now my lifestyle has changed. So I feel gratitude in everything. Even this laptop, everything which is around me, I love and enjoy. And also something new that I've learned is you have to respect and love small money, because
Yes.
as human, as a normal person, you always are thinking about, crores, lakhs, and 10 rupee, you will say, huh, okay, fine.
Mhm.
So why, again, going back negative and positive, right?
We
So
have
you
to
have to
embrace that
respect.
and we have to connect that.
Yeah, so this is one major thing that I feel that people are not filling this gap. You have to love money. Money is money. Even if it's like in terms of gifts, someone is gifting. So these days people are so specific about gift. They don't see the emotion. They don't see what are they gifting, their values. With gifts, we get so much of message which people don't catch.
Yes,
So these things, I think I'm very affectionate about money, because money is just not about note, just not about your bank balance. Money is about how you're utilizing it into your lifestyle, again, to uplift your lifestyle and also to help others along with that.
Okay,
Because
so mm-hmm,
we all are living, but a lot of people think, okay, fine, let's save it for future, let's do this. But if you're not gifting yourself that lifestyle to enjoy these luxuries, like going to spa, going for golf, adapting these things which are actually helping you to build some new skill, so
that's
you
true.
have to think it that way. You just not have to think, okay, fine, I've got money. I'll just go watch movie. I'll get a new luxurious car. I'll do this. So these are how normal people they think. But if you have to really respect money and if you have to really add the value of money into your life, start thinking what are the new areas where you can actually implement, and this money can leave you with something beautiful.
Like a new experience.
Yes, because these experiences are the magic that you're going to carry into your life. You're not going to remember, oh, yeah, this year I was having this much money. Oh, this year I have to do. That's target. It's understood. You will achieve everything. But
Mm-hmm.
the journey of enjoying this while earning and while becoming needs to be interesting.
So first thing, as you mentioned about money, for you is like kind of blessing. And is it like I'm taking this in that way, like you can correct me if I'm wrong. You're connecting that in the form of blessing with the work which you are doing by becoming the kind of person you become right now. So it's
Yes.
like first you became that kind of person, you did the work and you achieved that outcome, and that is why you are connecting that with a blessing. Or is it like you have just learned about it and then you felt like, okay, this is also not just about energy, but we have to be grateful for it and all.
Both, because of course I'm having mentors and
Mm-hmm.
we adopt a lot of values from our mentors.
Yes, absolutely.
We come from a similar platform, Siddharth Rajshekar, and we very well know about his values.
Mm-hmm.
So, as our mentors, they have always taught us give 10x, become, and naturally, the money and everything, fame and everything are just the byproduct. That will happen. That will happen. So, that's the calculation. So I think, of course, really thankful for this whole lifestyle. But it becomes more interesting when you enjoy the process. You know that this thing is there. But what more? What more? Because every day you can't just live the same lifestyle. You have
Yes.
to keep on adding something new so that you feel when you wake up, you have something new to experience.
Absolutely. Even this is one of the questions which I do ask, even in every single webinar of mine. Like I do mention about this word called as financial freedom and many more things. But I do ask this question like, whatever goals you have right now, like let's consider you have that house, you have that cars or whatever you want, private jet or whatever you want into your life. Once you achieve that goal, what next? And then people are blank, and then I make them realize, okay, you have to focus on that as well, so that because all the accomplishments are going to be there, but the
Yeah.
things which you're going to do after that, the things which are actually coming into your mind, like once I achieve my goals, if you start doing those things from right now, it will help you achieve all those goals even faster, and even in much, as you mentioned about blessing and being grateful, even in more grateful way, that yes, we are thankful to God that yes, we started adapting all those activities which we were about to adapt later on, and because of those activities itself we are able to achieve that goal.
Yes. So I was attending Mitesh sir's one of the event
Hmm.
where he taught us that you should be rich. Financial freedom is here. It's
Yes,
not in
it's
here.
not in terms of wallets or in terms of bank balance and all.
Yeah. So living these kind of luxurious experiences is within your mindset. You feel, oh yeah, I'm already rich. I'm already a billionaire.
Hmm.
Like one figure, one amount is either it can give you heart attack or it can give you happiness, but these both are going to stay for just few minutes, right?
Yes.
Other day you will be okay back, and then back to work, that sad phase. Okay, what are the new agendas? All of that. But when you add these experiences, you feel luxurious about life.
Even as you mentioned about this example, I remember about Elon Musk. The day on the day when he became the richest man in the world, he made that tweet. Like he didn't make that tweet, but it was a tweet from somebody else. Like Elon Musk is officially the richest guy in this world now, I think this was a tweet, I think 3 years back or somewhere around that space. And he replied on that. Uh, it was something like, okay, I realized right now, let's get back to the work. I said, how is he able to do that? And now, after listening to his lot of his podcast and looking up into his life, I am able to experience that yes, he's loving what he's doing, and money is just a byproduct. And even if he's not having any kind of money, because in one of the podcasts he mentioned like the Twitter, why he acquired Twitter and all. He mentioned like Twitter is the platform where I can have freedom of speech. Twitter is the platform where I can have freedom of speech. And even the host who was hosting that podcast, he asked him, if you are right now at level zero, like let's consider if you are having freedom of choice right now, are you able to pay that price? He said, yeah, even if I go to level zero, still I want that freedom of speech and freedom of choice. So I think hats off to him as well, the courage which he has. That is why he's at that level. And getting back to this point of view, like we discussed about money part and all, can you discuss a bit about the best and the worst moment of your life? Because this is the question which I do ask to all the guests, so that audience can understand that yes, everybody has like the positives and the negatives as well. So could you describe about a bit, even like if you just want to, if you're just comfortable, you can just share a bit about it, like a glimpse that this was the best, this was the worst.
Okay, so my worst and best, again, Neha and Naisha both has to do. So
Mm-hmm.
during the pandemic, I was unwell, and I was unwell for entire, like it was a long journey for me. The
Mm-hmm.
recovery also took me quite some time. So that very phase, because I was into fashion field, so all my I was not having that job in my hand. Then because there were a lot of unresolved things we all have,
Yeah.
everything started coming up onto surface,
Mm-hmm.
which really hit me very hard, that I was not able to cope up. Because when we were looking out, it was like we all have faced such negative energies around us, in terms of news, in terms of
Yes.
people whosoever we were calling. We were not even knowing that if we are going to see a safe world tomorrow. We were not even knowing that, and everyone was hell scared.
Yes.
So that was one of the most weakest point, because it got me suffer, and because of which this book happened, Suffering to
Mm-hmm.
Celebration. So
Mm-hmm.
I think I kind of was not able to deal with my these triggers which I was being triggered during that phase,
Mm-hmm.
and which really put me forward to work within myself. And that work that I did that very moment has really shaped me, become the nicer version of myself. So there was this time that medicines were not working, and I was clueless. Even doctors were clueless, but I was locked in one room, because it was phase one and phase two, and doctors did not wanted any more complication, and I was just left with myself. And you know what? I was reading this book again and again, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And
Mm-hmm.
that time I was not even knowing about NLP. I was not knowing about law of attraction. I'm very newbie here, trust me. And as I said, it's just because of the NLP that I've done this fast pace, I've achieved success. So I was just reading about this book, and I was thinking how subconsciously somewhere it was seeping into my mind. And through that, I made a massive comeback. My doctors were very surprised, who were like who told me that your recovery is going to take 6 to 7 months. I did that in 3 months, because a lot of time went when they were just experimenting with the medicine. A lot of things were happening, so that duration was for some 5 months, which was
Mm-hmm.
long, because they were stopping my medicine. They were thinking what to do, what not to do. So that was just an experimental phase, but the recovery was very quick, very quick. So that is how I got my awareness that yes, these things do work. Because in this modern age, we have forgotten what are the hacks that we are being gifted with. And subconscious mind is 93%, and conscious mind, whatever we're doing right this very moment, is only 7%.
Mm-hmm.
But what we tend to think is that all the conscious decisions that we are taking is 93%, and subconscious is only 3%. This is how normal
Mm-hmm.
people thing because we don't understand, and we are leading and we are pressurizing all the decisions with just that 7%, which is so unfair. So during this whole duration, I understood, and through my own journey, and it was about becoming a new person, it was about self discovery. And that very moment when I started implementing, I thought, I promised to myself, because for me it was a new life. I promised to myself, I am going to do everything in my life that I have ever thought of, and I am not going to wake up any morning regretting about something that I have not done. So in this new life, I don't regret about anything.
Mhm.
Plus, also to have one of the best mentors in my life, which I am blessed that I took one of the best decisions in my life, having right mentors. Because of course we are brought up in this culture, and there are a lot of people, our society is such that we nobody encourages us to learn new skills.
Yes.
People who are in sports, if you talk to them, they will talk about growth mindset. People who are into business, doing well, understand this science, they will talk about such. But the percentage is very low. We all think of dreaming big, but in fact, which is also like we also feared there, that how will this happen, we start putting up so much of self doubt. But this discovery of having right experts in my life has really helped me. So
Mhm.
I take it as like one of the most beautiful journey, because today when I look back, that is one thing that has really got me independent, and because of which I'm able to build my community. And when I think back, long back, I had this vision always that I want to leave something behind as a legacy when even when I'm not here. And so through my book, or maybe my community, through my coaching as corporate training, I see myself doing so. It's a total blessing. And this pain, which was just there for a few months, was nothing, was nothing.
So that was like the worst moment of your life, and best was having mentors in your life. After just
Because
after
see,
that.
good tomorrow, which is so much filled with love, so much filled with all the good aspects. Because when we get up now, when I get up in the morning, I'm so much thankful of seeing the sun in the morning. I go in out in the nature. I thank, I join my hands, thank sun for bringing that positivity into each other's life. Because if sun is not there, we have that darkness of just the moon.
Yes.
So we have to balance our life. So if we have moon or dark phases, we also have sun, the brighter side. So I started that way, and I would have never tasted what life really means if I would have not been shattered during that duration. So today life is really beautiful, and I understand that we all are here for some time. Before this, I was just playing around. Okay, I was not understanding how life is this. You have to do this, you have to do that. But today, it's like there's so much less time and there's so much to do. There's so much to do. So that really puts you forward to keep on doing something more and becoming your best.
Hmm. So even your life example is like the thought which came into my mind during COVID itself, like having a restart. Like
Yes.
whatever life you were living, you just restarted that, you just restructured, and after that experience, you are just like a new form of yourself.
Yeah, so that is
Yeah.
when I started. It was like my document name is Neha, and Naisha means life. And this also been gifted to me through God when I was looking for my brand. So Naisha means alignment with life. And that was my, if you can now connect about the journey that I was talking about, I was actually aligning
Yes.
to live this new life. So I
That's great to connect with you and have a podcast.
same here, because Sahil, you also are spreading such positive energy through your podcast, and even I'm there.
Thank you. And as you mentioned about like you're being grateful in the morning for the sun, for the positive energy and all. So like restarting that question, reframing that, who do you look up at every single day in the form of inspiration? And with what thought you wake up in the morning?
Okay, Sahil. So again, it's me. I know a lot of people will not say that, but just because I've seen I've seen myself breaking, and then I've put like recollecting my own broken pieces and forming and shaping. For me, that entire journey was like nurturing myself as a baby. There was a part of me which was playing like a mother, and there was a part of me which was a little tender baby. So
Hmm.
I think that self love has really put me forward, because prior to that, I used to not, I used to really think that how will I do it? I used to put a lot of self-doubt on myself. But today, there are such achievements, as I was talking about, that having that certificate also, that graphology.
Mm-hmm.
And it, despite it was impossible, but because of such experiences which I've already achieved in my life, I think yes, everything is possible. So I take myself as an inspiration because I've lived those incidences, and I think we all are hero in our own life. And when you connect your own story, it gives you that kickstart. Then go, make that move. Nothing is impossible. You've already done that, so go, go, go. So that is how I think I embrace that journey that I've gone through. Plus, of course, looking back to my parents, because I'm incomplete without their DNA and genes, so which I'm absolutely carrying 50% from my mom, 50 from my dad, which is totally, totally a blessing. So definitely this podcast will be incomplete if I will not address them. And really learned a lot from their journey, because we all know our parents come from a very different set of generation. They've
Yes.
seen a lot of very different their own journey, so they really inspire me. Because even my dad, he was also having, he also has faced then coming out from that his own town and going to one of the most prestigious institute, which is IIT Kanpur. So he also carries a very inspiring story. So
Mm-hmm.
he really inspires me when I sit with him, when I ask him such question. So for him, it I'm sure must have been very, very difficult, because today we have these technologies to, just Google, type one word and get inspired. But
Mm-hmm.
that very moment is what it was so difficult. You were just left alone by yourself, like when I was into that duration.
Mm-hmm.
So that, I think, there is the real hero. When you don't have outer space, you have your inner talk, the way you have your inner dialogue, the way you push yourself to put something for the major cause. That is something which I think is very heroic. So
Mm-hmm.
that goes for the journey.
So like as you mentioned, like even I would say like you are in the family where everybody is inspiration for some or the other, like for everybody in some way or the another. And as you mentioned about the thoughts as well, even I went through this concept I think 2 to 3 days back, where it was like every single day we know that we are having 70 to 80,000 thoughts every single day. So if we know that the thoughts are negative, and if you want to turn it into the positive, but if you're not able to do that, you can start breathing and you can focus on your breath so that at least you are getting out of that negative zone. You are getting to the neutral stage and then you can focus more on positive.
Okay, so here I can give you one NLP technique, which is
Yeah.
very simple, and you all can, in fact, use it also. So, of
Mm-hmm.
course, thank you so much, Sahil, for putting this, because in one day, of course, we are having 60 to 70,000 thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
and which are scattered in different direction, because we are thinking so many thoughts. We are having, okay, fine, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to be there, or this I have not done, then I have to call that person. So, such kind of, we are having lot of thoughts. But what happens? Have you ever calculated out of these thoughts how many percentage are you actually having negative versus positive? Mostly are negative for people.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So any negative thought that you're building, which is into your consciousness, say cancel, cancel.
Okay.
Say, okay, fine. Oh, I'm scared. I don't know how will I prepare for this interview. I'm not prepared. Others are so much good. Okay, cancel, cancel. I've done this previously in my job. I know I can do this. Even if not, so what? I can do it again. Cancel,
Mm-hmm.
cancel. So see, the moment you say cancel, cancel, you know automatically you have to change your dialogue.
Yes.
And very that moment change your dialogue. So this really helps. When I started my journey, I started from this cancel, cancel.
That's good. And even this is the practice which I'm gonna follow, because even during like every single moment of my life, even right now, I'm being more conscious about the thoughts which I'm observing. And is there anything like, because right now I have noticed this. This is like a personalization question. Like as you mentioned about 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day. But if I observe my thoughts right now in a conscious way, then I think I'm having some less number of thoughts. So is that the thing, like once we are being conscious about it, we can actually reduce the thoughts and we can actually channelize it to the positive ones? Or
Okay.
is this just my experience right now?
No, I'll correct it. thoughts are not going to get reduced. It is just that you know about where your focus is. So
Okay,
now
so
you know that example, you if you have to buy a blue color car,
mhm,
on the street when you're driving also, you will notice all the blue color car.
only blue, yes.
So it's not about how many, now you're focused. So this is why for you, you're consciously thinking or your thoughts are less, which is not.
The
But you
thoughts are the
know
same.
where to draw your attention. So say
Okay.
previously the circle was this big when
Mm-hmm.
it was directionless, now it is this small. Because you
Okay.
know what you want in your life. And this is why people who have clarity achieve
Mm-hmm.
their goal much more faster than people who are not having any clarity about life.
Okay, so having clarity is more important. Then we can channelize those thoughts. We can be conscious about it, and then we can achieve what we want in our life.
I think you're already doing it. You know about
Yeah,
the
I
other.
am clear about all the aspects
Exactly.
of my life. Yeah, I'm all
So that
like
is how it
absolutely.
is.
So I
So
think
think about it.
even. Mm-hmm.
If I have to ask you, go back to your 2 years back, you
Mm-hmm.
were not the same person, and then you were having a lot of thoughts as compared to today. Just because you're growing, you're doing so much of self work,
Mm-hmm.
implementing skills, you are having a concrete vision for your future. So you know where you have to go, and you're working towards it.
So yeah, even as you mentioned about these last 2 years, I think it's 2.5 years from which I started this journey. I think it's 3 years honestly. So from that point of time, the number of thoughts which are coming up, those are more positive, and in some way or the another, like what happens is usually based on my consciousness. Today, let's consider if I'm having any of the idea, even though because of my schedule I'm not able to do that thing right now, but definitely it will happen maybe 1 week down the line, 1 month down the line, but it has to happen. And then I like that, then one thought comes into my mind, okay, like this was the thought which came into my mind 1 week back or 1 month back. And then I feel like, okay, this is what I'm channelizing my thoughts as well. And then I'm manifesting all those things. So even thank you for pointing that out. And I would like to ask these last two questions before we end up this podcast. For the first one is very interesting. Honestly, this is the thing which I have observed through most of the NLP trainers with whom I'm in contact, and even with EFT tapping coaches as well. And I have seen this one common pattern is like most, not most, but from every single NLP trainers and EFT tapping coaches as well. Although you are not into that, we are not talking
No,
about
I
that.
am.
Yeah, but we are not having that conversation, right? Maybe we
Yeah.
can have that conversation maybe in next podcast. But like it's more of personalization rather than generalization. Like as we are into stock trading, we focus like we have to do this, like we can do collective as well. But in terms of NLP and EFT tapping and few other, like there might be some other categories as well, there might be some other fields where trainers and coaches are mostly focusing on personalization, like they are taking one-on-one sessions with those mentees and all. So why is one-on-one important for those people, and what is the impact which people can get through that one-on-one? Even though like generalization knowledge has to be there with the help of like podcasts, they're getting the knowledge, but there has to be certain points where they have, like as you mentioned about some categories, but you didn't describe, because it depends from person to person. I think that it depends from person to person based on their experiences, based on the situation which they are facing, so that
Yeah.
you can give them personalization answers and personalization
Yes.
experiences. So why is it important to get to give them personalization thing?
Okay, so this question is very important because when we are looking to upgrade, we are looking to upgrade because we are going through something in our life which is there very challenging, right? We are
Yes.
facing something and we need to be taken care by the expert. So that is why we reach out to expert because there are few problems which we are still dealing with. So when you
Yes.
go for one-on-one, you actually are, your questions are being heard. You have that time, comfort to express whatever journey that you're holding within. Because there are so many people, and there you're not, people don't welcome you the way when you start opening up. Few people are going to make fun of you, few people can take advantage, few people are just going to sympathize. But these things are not going to help you with the correct, because you need to come out of there. Few people can suggest you something, you will be eased for 1 or 2 days, for few months. But if you're carrying that pattern of staying low in your life, you will
Hmm.
again go back into your shell. So when you talk on these one-on-one counseling coaching, you get that special attention, because there are so many things that you need to work on your roots, because there are a lot of things which you are carrying from your DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you are in your mother's womb, a lot of progress actually starts right from there. So your skills, your development actually starts right before you bring into this consciousness. So there is a lot of work which you need to go through, because else these are just going to stay in your subconscious mind. So when you come to expert, anything that you talk about, they, for them it is very easy to understand. Oh, you're going through this, so this must have happened, this has become your pattern, this is your behavior, so how you need to change them, what are the things that you can implement. So you get that special attention, and which helps you progress in your life. Because when it's collective, your question will hardly be like it, you will get attention of 4 5 minutes, but it's one on one, you get attention for hours.
That's
It's
true.
like you are, and plus you are speed fast yeah, it's going to help you speed fast your journey from staying in misery and shining into and celebrating life.
So now I'm clear about why most of, like, not most, but all the NLP trainers and EFT tapping coaches also prefer one-on-one rather than just generalization. And as you mentioned about parents and all, I'll wrap with two questions. I mentioned about
I have
last
something
one, but
to add more.
yeah, yeah, go for it.
So, see, one on one is also required, because if I would have not understood myself,
Mm-hmm.
your experiences speak, your journey speaks. If I have to learn that, yes, this is a calculation, NLP is done in this way, NLP is done in that way, I might be just implementing in the way that I've been taught for such certain situation.
Yes.
There are so many ways that I can really implement these techniques. So you will be able to relate when you are actually helping and growing through it. And that is when, again, you will spread, because now you've understood the science, now you've implemented, so you understand it through your own journey.
Okay, so yeah, now I'm absolutely clear about it. And as you mentioned about your about the parents, about not your parents, but about the parents part, which plays a major role in building our subconscious mind, even before we getting the birth. Actually, this was not the question, but I got through your statement itself. So, what would be that one, not, we can't call it like, okay, you can call it like a suggestion or an advice for parents as well, which are in the pregnancy phase, so that like they can put in positivity into their kids, because
Okay.
as you mentioned, like it starts from day one, and the subconscious mind, the activities which we are going to experience in future, those are actually built during the first phase itself. So how do they should take care of their kids and themselves also?
Sahil, very good question. Really thankful, because this is actually going to help people who are planning for something, bringing that little life into. So, going back, it is very important for both, because it's like it's about male and female, both the partners, they are being pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So, think about finances, plan it well, think about the situation that you're dealing with. If you guys are going through something which you have not sorted, because you need to welcome this new life when you are stable in terms of finances, your families, your in-laws, everything, look after them. Of course situation are going to be there, but make this process little smoother,
Mm-hmm.
because when you welcome, along with that there is a discovery and journey as parent, it is very different, which you will also be going through. There will be times that you will be working, there will be few mood swings, there will be something that you need to do adjustments for, and when the baby also comes, because a lifestyle that you're carrying is going into that baby's life
From
much
day
before.
one.
Yeah, much before that you are even planning, because you've got a lot. So even for them, it is important to do some kind of self work, inner self work. Because if you are carrying some kind of fear, some kind of phobia, which can definitely pass to your kids. It is said when you go to doctors, you must have heard, oh, someone in your generation might be having this. This is a very
Yes.
similar question.
Yes.
And this only happens because they are not taking this wise decision, that they need to work first and welcome this kid, because the kid should not suffer unknowingly.
Even I think at this point of time, I there is one cousin sister of mine. I can't mention the name, but we used to think like, why has she delayed all these things in her life, like having a kid? I think after 6 to 7 years of her after marriage, and when I came to know about her story, I think 1 year back, then she mentioned like we were not financially stable and we were not having proper house at that point of time, and how we can take care of our kid as well. And even when she mentioned about her journey, I felt okay. Like, although I was not aware about all these concepts, but definitely I can feel the emotions which she might have felt during those 6 to 7 years. Because everybody is what everybody does is like, now you have got married, after maximum 1 or 2 years they will ask like, when are you gonna have kids and all, when are you gonna get settled. So I think she took very good decision, and I'm glad that she
Yeah,
delayed that thing as well.
trust
Because
me.
now she's I can guaranteedly say that she is in more stable condition than anybody else. Those who used to tell her that you should have a kid right now, or why are you delaying this and all. So I even a lot of people have embraced her like, you are living the best life which we are actually dreaming of. So even I think that's the best decision which she took. And anything else which you would like to add for parents?
So I will also add something more just for people to understand why during this parenting it is required, like the emotions that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Just because she was eased, like both the couple,
Mm-hmm.
they were eased, right? They was happy and satisfied about this whole journey. They were not in worry. They were not thinking about finances. Else, what happens if you're carrying some kind of worry within you? That worry will subconsciously be passed to the kid. It is that crucial, which a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people don't understand, but it is that important, and because of which the stress, these are, if you'll go to doctors, little kids are having stress. We would have never ever imagined that these kids who are in school are having stress, but these days, why is it so? Because the parents are also dealing with so much, like so many things around them which they are not able to
Mm-hmm.
stabilize, which is so much important, and then work on this something which is a togetherness journey, because these emotions should not pass. If you will see, there are even doctors, when you say someone see sorry, you see a student who is having this temperament or anger, he will
Mm-hmm.
very easily say, oh, my dad also has this.
Yes, true.
So such kind of example, and why are they, people from ancestor, they used to understand these things, and that is how we very easily say, oh, my dad has this,
That's true. That's true. And
but it's not working.
that's true. And even as you mentioned about like financial issues and all, even now I'm able to, like, in the back end, I'm able to filter out a lot of things, because there are a lot of cousin sisters and brothers of mine. As I mentioned about one example of my cousin sister, even there are a lot of my cousin brothers and sisters who had kids during their first few years itself, and few of them are very happy because previously itself they were having fulfilled life, but there are a lot of families, they are actually suffering, and the kids are facing those problems.
Yeah.
Maybe in terms of like mental health issues, I've actually seen mental health issues as well in the kids from day one, and a lot of financial issues. Like, honestly speaking, those are the things which need to be sorted as soon as possible, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
And
Because this is a
mhm,
lot of people stress about age, a lot of people are being burdened by their, elders. I totally understand. But when it comes to building a family, because the two needs to be stable mentally, emotionally, financially. This is a major step. It is not just about 1 year. You think about this child that you're bringing up. It is very easy to say that this child is stubborn, but there has been some of your emotion which has been carried out to this kid,
hmm,
because kid cannot generate such emotion right from being that journey.
definitely. That's true. And any advice which you would like to give, as you mentioned more about youngsters and all. So, any of the tip or advice which you would like to give to a 20-year-old kid, and then to a 30-year-old individual as well? Like, or 20, by keeping this context in mind, like 20-year-old is starting their journey, and 30-year-old has already done something, done some part of work in their life, and either they want to, or you can consider they want to achieve the exponential growth in their own career, the current career which they are pursuing, or else they want to restart their life. So what would be your advice for both of them?
Okay, so one thing which I really came across was really mind blowing, that 30% of your network should be someone of your entire zone, the friend zone or somewhere where you're comfortable with. Be
Mm-hmm.
okay with it. 30% should be that zone whom you look up to when it comes to growth.
Mm-hmm.
Experts, like gaining
Inspiration.
some kind of, yes, gaining some kind of knowledge. Be friends with them. And with these people, you have to keep on like, you have to spend like three hours. You have to, it should not be that these 30 percent of the normal zone should be that you are spending 6 hours, and for the inspirational people, you're spending only 1 hour. No, it has to
It
have
should
that
be
right
opposite of it.
balance. And 30% for those people who are in need of, like, we see a lot of people who need our say attention in terms of monetary. You can go to NGOs, do something, or maybe you can just go on YouTube, share something that you've really achieved, that your self discovery inspire others. So these are three categories which is mind blowing, and I also live by that, because when it came to me, it was like no one talks about this. And when you actually think it this way, so one bar is which where you normal, you are existing. One is where you have to achieve. So you already are having a future vision of yourself. And one vision is where it keeps you rooted, it keeps you grounded. So this is
Okay.
the whole
Mm-hmm.
balance which
So it's
I
like,
discovered.
yeah, that's great. Even this is the analogy which I'm gonna take from this podcast as well. Like one is gonna be like one point. You can consider one walk of life is like that is gonna keep us grounded. That is gonna inspire us to take more action. Second is the actual inspirers, those who are gonna help us, like our mentors, our inspirations, the books we are gonna read, so that we can reach to the aspirational level, the NGOs and the people whom we need to help. That's good. So this was the advice for 20-year-old. And what about 31?
30, keep
Yeah.
on growing, have vision, keep
Mm-hmm.
on working, but again, enjoy life. Even if there are setbacks, understand what is there something that you really need to understand. If
Mm-hmm.
there is a certain cycle and it's happening again and again, if you really can't solve, approach experts, but don't waste much time. Time is money, which no one talks about.
That's
And
true.
you have to think that time is money, because time is also ticking. So utilize time as money and gain much more knowledge. Life is about change. Be okay to change. A lot of people stay with that fixed mindset, and that is why they're not able to grow. So here is also again one of the difference about fixed mindset and growth mindset.
Like
So
change is
adapt.
the constant. Change is the only constant.
Exactly. So, and people fear so much with change. Even I was there longer when I would talk about me being Neha. So I used to be also like that. So I can understand these are phases, but we have to keep on growing. So when you get up in the morning, have a vision that this is the better version of yourself that you look, that you really
Yesterday.
want to adapt. Yeah. And then think what are the lifestyles that you need to add on. And of course, just because you are going to change something, there is going to be this discomfort, which is okay. And whenever you enjoy this discomfort, that is where you are carrying beautiful journey, beautiful stories, which you're going to boost up with your friends, your pals. So do that, enjoy, and keep spreading, because I think we are living into this journey where we should inspire, hold each other, because this is why we face pandemic also,
Yes,
which has really shaken up so that we can stay as human. We should not be robotic. I know a
absolutely.
lot of things are happening around us, but we should keep that creativity alive within us.
That's true. Like first is time is money, so keep focus on time as well. Second thing would be second is like keep looking up at yourself in the form of inspiration. Every single day when you wake up, just look up at yourself that you are better than yesterday, and what are the things which you can focus more on so that you can inspire your loved ones as well. And third one is be okay with not being okay. Like
Yeah.
having be comfortable with not being comfortable.
No, be you have, when you're going to change something, adapt a
Yeah,
lifestyle
during the change,
for your
during the
growth. During this change, you have to be comfortable that this discomfort will be there.
yeah, being comfortable
But
with not being
keep on, yes.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, yeah.
yeah.
So be okay with this journey.
Hmm.
Yes.
So anything else which you would like to add to the audience?
Sahil, you're already amazing. I
Mhm.
think people are
Thank
going
you.
to love this podcast anyway.
Definitely.
We have already been, I think, engaged our viewers for this long. I think if they are having any question, they can type in the comment box.
Definitely.
Maybe we can, if they want us to see more, we can do another podcast onto
Even
that
on
because
NFT. Sorry,
yes.
not NFT. Sorry, EFT. Yeah. Yeah.
NFT is
Both
your
are.
area.
Yeah.
I know you
Not
can do
mine.
it. You can do NFT and I can do EFT.
Yeah. Not NFT is not mine, but yeah, definitely.
Oh, nice,
Right.
nice.
So this was what we had, and thank you so much for watching this particular podcast. And below this video itself, in the description, I'm going to mention all the social handles of Naysha Neha. Make sure you tag her, take the snapshots of this podcast, and tag her on Instagram. You can tag me and text her on Instagram with all the takeaways which you had, so that she can feel that whatever time, energy, and most importantly, the experience which she had, the journey which she went through, was worth sharing. And looking forward to see you in next podcast of EFT and many more things as well. And thank you so much once again for being on our podcast.
Thank you so much, Sahil. NFT, EFT.
Yeah,
We can call it that way.
definitely.
High five. And definitely looking forward. And please, viewers, if you have gained something, please do type because we all learn from each other. I've really learned a lot from my clients who come for counseling also because everyone is carrying some inspiring journey. And if you have come across any inspiring journey, please comment below. It's always good to connect with such amazing people.
Yeah,
So, all the very best. Be your best and be your hero. With that, signing off.
yeah.
Thanks, Sai.
Thank you. Once again, thank you so much for watching this particular podcast till the end. And I hope that now you're absolutely clear about what is NLP, what are the different practices which you need to inculcate in your day to day practices in order to enhance your own life and lifestyle. And I hope that you are also inspired by Naisha Neha's own journey from that particular downfall till the upside move and so on. And you have also got clarity about what are the different things which you need to inculcate into your day to day practices. And I also believe that if you're till this particular point of time, then you have got immense value and clarity as well. So this would be my request to all of you, those who are watching this particular podcast, that make sure that below this particular video in the description box, I have mentioned all the social handles of Naisha Neha. Please do make sure that you can take all the snapshots from this particular podcast. Whatever takeaways you had, you can tag her on Instagram. You can tag me as well. I have also mentioned all my social handles in the description below. And not just that, but you can also text her in person on Instagram so that she can feel that whatever time she invested, whatever effort she had, whatever energy she invested uh, while being in the form of guest into this particular podcast show, and not just that, but most importantly, her own journey of being into a downfall and then into an upside curve. And whatever work she's doing right now, she's literally an inspiration for me as well. So make sure you text her on Instagram as well with all the love, all in support, and all your breakthroughs. And this was what we had. And looking forward to see you in upcoming podcast and upcoming new initiatives as well. Till then, make sure you share this particular podcast series with at least one friend of yours whom you feel that it can add value to their life and it can also help them to enhance their career and so on. Till then, live fully, love openly, and make the difference today. I wish you joy and abundance in all you do.